Chapter 0 Introduction. On the 14th of August, Cathay Pacific opened a birthday present addressed to its own members. The airline is 80 years old this year, and to mark it, it is giving miles back. Redeem a flight with Asia Miles and Cathay will return 800 miles for every 5,000 you spend, up to 80,000 miles per member. Cathay calls it the 80th anniversary, and the offer closes on the 27th of August. 800 back for every 5,000 spent is 16%. That is a real number, and it is not a small one. Here is the problem: 16% of what? Cathay does not publish what an award seat costs. Not in economy, not in business, not on any page of its own website. I checked on the 22nd of August, the day I am recording this. There is a page on Cathay's own site titled Flight Awards Charts. It publishes a full table for upgrading your cabin, a full table for companion tickets, a full table for round-the-world itineraries across the One World Alliance. And for the ordinary award seat, the standard award, which is the only kind this offer covers, it publishes nothing at all. It tells you to go and search. So this is a percentage discount on a price list that does not exist. That is my thesis, and everything that follows is the working. I am going to read you the terms exactly as Cathay wrote them, because they are more interesting than the headline. I am going to show you what the chart used to say, from a copy of Asia Miles' own page taken 4 years ago. And then I am going to show you what the charts Cathay still publishes have done in those same 4 years. Because those tables are the closest thing anyone outside the airline has to an honest measure of what happened to this currency. The short version, the numbers Cathay still shows you went up by half to 70%. The number it stopped showing you is the one the birthday offer is a percentage of. Chapter 1: What the terms actually say. The headline is one sentence: up to 80,000 miles rebate, celebrate 80 years of extraordinary travel. The terms and conditions run to 19 clauses. I pulled them from Cathay's own offer page on the 22nd of August. They are worth hearing in full because almost every one of them removes something. Clause 1: the offer runs from the 14th of August to the 27th of August, Hong Kong time, 14 days. Clause 2: you must register on a dedicated page before the 27th. Redeeming without registering first earns you nothing. Clause 3, and this one is the most revealing. Quote, this offer is applicable for all Cathay members who joined on or before the 11th of August 2026. End quote. The 11th, 3 days before the offer opened. So a person who hears about this campaign, downloads the app, and joins Cathay today is excluded from it by design. Clause 5, one-way or round-trip tickets between Hong Kong and destinations in the Cathay network. And then, multi-city redemption with transit is not eligible. So Hong Kong to Singapore counts. Singapore to Hong Kong counts. Singapore to Hong Kong and onward to London does not. Clause 6, economy and premium economy only. Clause 9, travel between the 10th of September and the 10th of December, and I quote, travel must commence and completed during the travel period. Not booked. Flown. Both directions finished inside 92 days. Clause 10, booked on the Cathay website and quote, only standard award is eligible, end quote. Hold on to that phrase because I went looking for where Cathay defines it. Its redemption page says to visit the flight award chart page to learn about the different award types. The flight award chart page says that for standard awards, you should visit the redemption page. Each one points at the other, neither one explains what a standard award is. Clause 11 is the offer itself. 800 miles back for every 5,000 redeemed, capped at 80,000 per member. Clause 13. The rebate is credited after the travel period ends by the 31st of January 2027. And Clause 15. If your ticket is refunded, quote, Asia Miles Limited reserves the right to deduct the rebate miles from the member's account. End quote. Read them together and a shape appears. This is not an offer to fly somewhere. It is an offer to spend a specific currency from an existing balance in one cabin on one kind of ticket through one hub inside 1 quarter with the reward withheld for 5 months and reversible if you change your mind. I want to be careful here because the next step is my reading rather than Cathay's statement. But a promotion that excludes anyone who joined after the 11th of August cannot be an acquisition campaign. It is not trying to find new members. It is aimed squarely at miles that already exist, sitting in accounts waiting. Chapter 2: What 80,000 would take. Every one of these offers is written around a number designed to be repeated, and the number here is 80,000. It is in the banner. It is in the headline. It is the thing you will remember tomorrow. So let us find out what standing on it would cost. The mechanic is 800 back for every 5,000 redeemed. To collect 80,000 miles of rebate, you must redeem 500,000 Asia miles. That is arithmetic, not interpretation. 80,000 divided by 800 is 100. 100 multiplied by 5,000 is 500,000. Now apply the constraints because they all apply at once. 500,000 Asia miles spent only on economy and premium economy seats, only on standard awards, the scarcest tier, only on itineraries that start or end at Hong Kong with no transit, all booked inside a 14-day window that closes on the 27th of August, all flown out and back between the 10th of September and the 10th of December. That is 92 days of travel booked in 14. How much flying is 500,000 miles? Here I have to be honest about what I can and cannot tell you, and the gap is the whole story. Cathay does not publish the price. The last time this program did publish it, on Asia Miles' own website, in a copy preserved from June 2022, a one-way economy seat in the short-haul band cost 10,000 miles. Hong Kong to Singapore is roughly 1,600 statute miles, which sits inside that band. At that price, and I am labeling it clearly, that is a 2022 price, 4-year stale, and I am using it only for scale. 500,000 miles is 51-way economy tickets between Hong Kong and Singapore. 25 round trips. In 92 days, that is a return flight every 3.5 days, every one of them booked in the same fortnight. The true figure today might be higher, it might be lower. Neither you nor I can find out, and that is not a rhetorical flourish, it is the literal position. There is no published number to check. What is reachable is the ordinary case. Redeem a single round trip and 16% comes back as a few thousand miles, roughly 5 months after you fly. That is a genuine discount. Call it what it is, a modest one, delayed, conditional, and clawed back if you cancel. 80,000 is not a benefit. It is a ceiling, the largest number the mechanic can produce before it stops, placed in the headline where the typical outcome should be. Chapter 3, a discount on a price list that does not exist. Go to Cathay's website and find the page called Flight Awards Charts. I did on the 22nd of August. It is the page a reasonable member would look for. It opens with this sentence, and I am quoting it exactly because the sentence does the work. Quote, use our award charts to find out how award miles are calculated and which awards can be redeemed with our airline partners. For standard, partner, mixed carrier, and oneworld multi-carrier awards, visit our Redeem Flight Awards page to check how many miles are required. End quote. Read it twice. It is a page of award charts telling you that for the award most people want, there is no chart. Go and search instead. And it is not that Cathay has stopped publishing tables. The same page carries 3 of them, complete and precise. There is a full upgrade chart, 6 distance bands, 4 upgrade types, 24 numbers exact to the 1,000. Ultra-short economy to premium economy, 6,000 miles. There is a full companion ticket chart. If you have bought a business or first-class ticket and want to bring someone, the price is published by distance band to the 1,000. There is a full oneworld multi-carrier chart. 13 distance zones, from 0 to 1,000 miles all the way to 50,000 miles, 3 cabins, 39 numbers. So the airline can publish an award chart. It publishes 3. It publishes prices for the itinerary that spans 13 zones and multiple alliance carriers. What it will not publish is the price of a seat on its own airplane, bought with its own currency, on the most common redemption there is. Now hold that next to the offer. The rebate applies to standard awards only, not to upgrades, not to companion tickets, not to oneworld multi-carrier awards. Of the 4 award types on the table, the promotion is confined to the exactly one whose price the airline declines to print. I want to be fair about the counterargument because there is a real one. Cathay's standard award pricing appears to vary by route and by date rather than sitting in a fixed grid, and a table cannot express that. Airlines all over the world have moved this way, and there is a defensible reason. Dynamic pricing lets you release seats that a fixed chart would make uneconomic. But notice what that argument concedes. If the price moves, then a member cannot know in advance what 16% is worth, cannot know whether the price rose between the day they earned the miles and the day they spent them, and cannot tell a good redemption from a bad one except by comparing it against a cash fare on the same screen. A loyalty currency with no published exchange rate is not really a currency. It is a store credit whose value the issuer sets at the moment you try to use it, with no obligation to tell you what it was yesterday. Chapter 4. It used to be on the page. The reason I can be confident this is a change, and not simply how Asia Miles has always worked, is that a copy of the old page survives. On the 29th of June, 2022, the Internet Archive took a snapshot of asiamiles.com on the page called Flight Awards Charts. It is the program's own website, and on it, under a heading that reads Asia Miles Standard Award, sits precisely the table that no longer exists. 6 distance bands across the top, 4 cabins down the side, 24 published prices one way. Economy started at 7,500 miles for an ultra-short hop under 750 miles, 10,000 for the short band, 22,000 for medium, 42,000 for the ultra-long band, over 7,500 miles. Business class 16,000 ultra-short, 25,000 short, 45,000 medium, 85,000 ultra-long. First class topped out at 125,000 miles, one way for the longest band. Whatever you think of those prices, you could see them. You could work out before you earned a single mile roughly what the currency was for. You could compare Cathay against KrisFlyer or Asia Miles against Avios on a like-for-like basis. You could tell the following year whether the price had gone up because there was a number to compare against. Now, when did it go? The Internet Archive's record of that page is precise about one thing and silent about another, and I want to separate them carefully. The last capture of that page that returned actual content is dated the 26th of February 2023, just under 25 kilobytes of page with the standard award table in it. The next capture on the 22nd of August 2023 returns a redirect. So does every capture after it, through 2024 and 2025, right up to the present. Here is the honest limit of that evidence. A redirect proves the address stopped serving that page. It does not by itself prove the table was deleted rather than moved. What proves the second part is the destination, the page that replaced it, which I read on the 22nd of August 2026, and which carries 3 award charts and no standard award chart. So the defensible statement is this. Asia Miles published the price of a standard award seat on its own website as recently as February 2023. Sometime between then and August 2023, that address stopped serving it. Today's replacement does not carry it, and there is nowhere else on the airline's site that does. 3.5 years ago, you could look up the price. Today, you cannot. The birthday offer is a percentage of the number that went missing in between. Chapter 5. The tables that stayed and what they did. The standard award chart is gone, so nobody can measure it. But 3 charts survived the move, upgrades, companion tickets, and Oneworld multi-carrier awards, and 2 of them appear in both the 2022 page and the 2026 one, in the same format with the same distance bands. That gives us a controlled comparison. Same program, same currency, same document 4 years apart, both numbers published by the airline itself. So let us run it. Upgrades one way in the ultra-long band, anything over 7,500 miles, which is Hong Kong to London or Hong Kong to New York. Economy to premium economy, 30,000 miles in 2022, 43,000 today, up 43%. Premium economy to business, 35,000 then, 58,000 now, up 66%. Economy straight to business, 48,000 miles in 2022, 82,000 today, that is an increase of 71%. Business to first, 65,000 then, 96,000 now, up 48%. The medium band, 2,750 to 5,000 miles, tells the same story. Premium economy to business rose from 18,000 to 30,000, up 67%. Economy to business, 28,000 to 42,000, up 50%. Companion tickets moved the same way. A business class companion on an ultra-long route was 128,000 miles round trip in 2022. It is 176,000 today, up 37.5%. Now here is the part that tells you this was designed rather than drifted. Go to the shortest band, 1 to 750 miles. Economy to premium economy, 6,000 miles in 2022, 6,000 miles today. Unchanged for 4 years. Premium economy to business rose by 500 miles. And 2 of them actually got cheaper. Economy to business fell from 12,500 to 11,000, and business to first fell from 16,000 to 15,000. So the cheap short hops held flat or improved. The expensive long-haul premium redemptions, the ones people save for years to reach, the reason anyone collects miles at all, went up by half to 70%. I should be precise about what this does and does not show. It does not show that every standard award seat rose by 70%. I cannot show that because that chart is gone. And it does not show a single overnight devaluation on a particular date. It is a 4-year comparison, and the change may have arrived in several steps. What it does show is direction and magnitude from the airline's own published tables on the only redemption types where measurement is still possible. Against that, a 16% rebate in economy for 14 days is not a correction. It is a rounding error with a birthday cake on it. Chapter 6, 2 rows, 1 distance, no definition. There is a smaller thing on the surviving chart that I cannot stop looking at because it tells you something about the house style. Open Cathay's current upgrade chart. Read down the left column the distance bands. Ultra short 1 to 750 miles. Then short type 1, 751 to 2,750 miles. Then short type 2, 751 to 2,750 miles. The same range twice with different prices. Under short type 1, an economy to premium economy upgrade costs 10,000 miles. Under short type 2, the identical distance costs 13,000, 30% more. Economy to business is 19,000 under type 1 and 23,000 under type 2. The companion chart splits the same way, 41,000 against 50,000. So which routes are type 1 and which are type 2? The page does not say. I read the whole page and then I read the underlying content payload the site builds itself from and searched every string in it. There is no definition, no footnote, no link. The chart has a term in its own left-hand column that the chart does not define. Now fairness demands 2 things here. The first is that this is not new, and I would be misleading you if I implied Cathay invented it recently. That June 2022 page, the one with the standard award chart still on it, did exactly the same thing, except it split the long band instead of the short one. Long type 1 and long type 2, both 5,001 to 7,500 miles, different prices, no definition given. So this has been the practice for at least 4 years. What changed is which end of the network it applies to. In 2022, the ambiguity sat on long haul, and today it sits on short haul, which is the band Hong Kong to Singapore falls into. The second is that the information almost certainly exists somewhere, in a booking engine, in a call center script, in a table an agent can see. This is not a conspiracy. It is far more ordinary than that and more revealing for it. It is what happens when nobody inside the organization is accountable for whether a member can read the chart. But stack it up. The price of the main award not published, which of 2 identical distance bands your route falls into not defined, and the promotion running this fortnight is a percentage of the first number on routes governed by the second. Every one of those gaps has the same shape. In each case, the missing piece is the one that would let you check the airline's arithmetic against your own. Chapter 7, the Singapore end of the pipe. None of this would matter much outside Hong Kong if Asia miles were only earned by flying Cathay. It is not. It is one of the most widely fed currencies in Asia, and Singapore is one of the places doing the feeding. The offer covers flights between Hong Kong and any destination in the Cathay network, and Singapore to Hong Kong is one of the densest routes on it. At roughly 1,600 statute miles, it sits in the short band. So a Singapore-based member is squarely in scope, right up until they try to use Hong Kong as a connection, at which point Clause 5 removes them. Singapore to Hong Kong qualifies. Singapore to Hong Kong to anywhere else does not. But the more important Singapore connection is the one that happens before anyone books anything. Most people in Singapore holding Asia miles did not earn them on an airplane. They earned them on a credit card or through a rewards app and moved them across. One of those routes is HeyMax, the Singapore rewards platform operated by Max Now T Limited. I want to state clearly before I say anything about it that this is independent analysis drawn entirely from public sources. This video is not affiliated with, endorsed by, or produced with the cooperation of HeyMax or Max Now T Limited. Nobody there was contacted, and nobody there reviewed a word of it. With that said, here is what HeyMax's own help pages set out as I read them on the 22nd of August. Max miles transfer to 24 direct partners. Cathay Pacific Asia miles is on the list. The rate is 1-to-1. The minimum transfer is 1,000 max miles. And in the platform's own words, transfers are final once confirmed and cannot be reversed or refunded. That last clause is the one that matters against everything in this video. A one-way, irreversible conversion into a currency whose price list the receiving airline does not publish is a decision made without the central piece of information. One more thing worth saying plainly, because it is the kind of detail that rots fastest. While I was checking, I found HeyMax bonus campaigns into Asia Miles offering 20% and into Flying Blue offering 25%. Both are over. The Asia Miles ones ran to the 1st of June and the 14th of July. The Flying Blue one ran for 10 days in June. If you find them written up somewhere and go looking, you will be chasing a promotion that closed months ago. And there is a clock on the miles themselves. Cathay's own expiry rules, unchanged since January 2020, are activity-based. Earn or spend at least once every 18 months and the balance stays alive. Go quiet for 18 months and it does not. So the currency has an expiry date, an unpublished price, and a one-way door at the entrance. Those three facts belong in the same sentence, and they almost never are. Chapter 8: What would change my mind? I have made a specific accusation in this video, so let me be equally specific about what would refute it. The first and simplest thing: publish the chart. If Cathay put a standard award table back on its own website, 6 distance bands, 4 cabins, the way it looked in 2022, my central claim collapses in an afternoon. The 16% would become measurable, members could compare across programs again, and I would have nothing left but a complaint about the size of the discount. I would take that trade. The second: define the terms it does publish. If the page said which routes are short type 1 and which are short type 2, that whole chapter goes away. The third is harder and would genuinely move me. If Cathay demonstrated that standard award pricing today is, on average, no worse than the 2022 chart, that the dynamic prices actually clear below the old fixed ones on most routes and most dates, then removing the chart looks less like concealment and more like a chart that had stopped describing reality. I do not believe that is the case because the surviving charts all moved hard in one direction. But I cannot prove the standard award did, and I am not going to pretend otherwise. That is exactly the claim the missing table would settle. Let me also say what I have deliberately not claimed. I have not said the May 2026 award changes did anything in particular. Those were widely reported, and I could not check a single figure against a Cathay page because the relevant chart does not exist. So I left them out entirely rather than repeat a number I could not verify. I have not said Cathay's program overhaul is in force. It is not. Cathay's own words are that the enhanced membership program takes effect on the 1st of January 2027 with a transition running through 2026. That is an announced future change, and today it is nothing more. And I have not told you whether to take this offer. That is not what this channel does, and nothing here is financial or travel purchase advice. If you have Asia Miles, a Hong Kong itinerary, and dates inside that 92-day window, 16% back is 16% back. Register first or you get nothing. What I will say is this: there is a version of loyalty where the airline publishes a price, honors it, and competes on it. Cathay ran that version for decades. Its own website is the evidence. What replaced it publishes 73 help pages on its 2027 membership changes, 1,094 help pages in total across its site, and not one number telling a member what a seat costs. An 80th birthday is a good moment to be generous. 16% in economy for 14 days paid in January is not the generous part. Publishing the price would have been. That would have cost nothing at all, which I suspect is precisely why it did not happen.